So you're quickly realizing that we are not in the regular studio. Where are we, you may ask? We are at my childhood home in my sister's bedroom. Yes, we had to come to this side of town to film a project this weekend. We decided to stay with my mom, and this was the biggest space possible to record the podcast. So
here we are.
Do with that information what you will.
Enjoy.
With that being said, welcome to the show.
Yes,
it's
hello.
gonna be more of a traditional show where we have a couple stories that we're gonna do mini deep dives on, and then we'll still save some B-roll for the middle. This wasn't one of those weeks where there was one big topic we could really dive into, but we do have a couple that we're gonna do.
Yes.
And box office at the end. Got some interesting box office stuff that just happened, which I didn't realize until I opened it. So that's gonna be fun to get into.
Oh boy.
Oh yes. And so the first thing we're gonna dive into today is there's a feud going on between Tom Cruise and Universal.
What?
Tom Cruise is upset, and basically, here's what is going on. Universal has pre-selected Oppenheimer to play in IMAX theaters for, I believe it's 2 to 3, it might even be 3 weeks.
Okay.
Which is a long time. And Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible 7, which he's a producer on, comes out, I believe, a week before Oppenheimer, maybe 2 weeks before. It's like right in that range. And Tom Cruise is pissed off that Mission Impossible is going to have to get kicked out of IMAX the moment that Oppenheimer comes out, and it can't go back in for 2 to 3 weeks. And so he's trying desperately hard to get other theater chains to like Cinemark with XD, AMC with Dolby to like put Mission Impossible in those theaters instead. He's sent the movie to exhibitors saying, look how good it is, please play this instead. He's calling Universal saying, is there anything you can do about the Barbie and Oppenheimer release dates?
Oh wow.
He's
desperate.
Really upset.
Well, it's going to affect his box office.
Well, not only that, but he truly believes that this
movies
is a
are back.
movie. Yeah, and him and Chris Nolan have been huge proprietors of bringing people back to the movie theater.
Yeah.
By the way, sources for this are just in all the trades, Variety, Deadline, THR. They're all doing their version.
Just
of
Google
this story.
Tom Cruise mad.
Yeah.
2023.
Yeah, but it's a whole thing going on, and I forget who started the thing saying Tom Cruise is mad. It wasn't one of those main sources, but it
picked up.
Yeah. So the reason why I wanted to bring up this story and do a little bit of a deep dive is because, well, you might be thinking, well, why is it like this? Like, why can't things be sorted out? Well, I worked at a movie theater, and while I wasn't great at it, I did figure out a couple things about how the industry works, and it's actually rather interesting. And I want to bring up a recent example, too. So, have you ever been trying to buy a movie ticket for a movie you were going to see later in the week, only to realize none of the IMAX times are posted? Like, they have all the regular show times, all the 3D show times, but for any movie, there's no IMAX times. And you're like 3 days out from the movie coming out, and you're like...
Have you run into this a lot?
Yes. And you're like, what in the hell is this? Like, I want to get my IMAX tickets for this movie. But why isn't it happening? It's because those negotiations for what gets to play on those big premium screens, it can sometimes come down to the wire. Like, I've been in situations at Cinemark where we would post all the show times except for our XD show times, because one of the higher up managers was on the phone with a buyer who books the films.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, we're still arguing with Warner Brothers and Sony over what gets XD this weekend, how many screens it gets this weekend. So hold off posting those showtimes until Wednesday, the day before, so we can get this finalized. Like, that happens a lot, which is why a lot of studios now try to make deals far in advance on what can be booked, what can happen. And Oppenheimer got its release date of the July 2023 back in October of 2021. They booked that date and made that deal with the exhibitors of this is how long it's going to play in IMAX. This is how it's going to be, Yeah. And Mission Impossible didn't get their date until January of 22. So they couldn't negotiate that out. So Universal could play ball, they could not play ball, but it's kind of not a mess, but Tom Cruise is not happy about it. And basically, if you want to see Mission Impossible 7 in IMAX, do it opening weekend, or else it's going to be gone pretty soon.
I have a very simple solution to all of this.
Yes.
Neither of them give it to Barbie.
Barbie. All goes to Barbie. Absolutely.
I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with that, too. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I'm sure it's going to get some times. Like, you'll probably see a 6:30 IMAX for
Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible, a 9:30 for Barbie, and a 10:30 for Oppenheimer, or like whatever.
And you think Barbie's gonna get IMAX as well with it?
Yeah.
Smart.
Oh yeah.
Good.
And
as it should.
And with Dolby and XD, it becomes easier because they're not IMAX, so they can just because with IMAX, for true IMAX, you can't post convert a movie to IMAX. You can for Dolby and for XD. You can take a regular and make it that.
Okay.
Unless the sound wasn't recorded in Dolby, but most sound mixes are now Dolby Atmos. So that becomes less of an issue. XD, you can put any movie in XD and it'll play.
Now, wouldn't it be, and I don't know how this side of the industry works, or any side of the industry really. Wouldn't there be more incentive for them to put Mission Impossible into the premium format longer, since Oppenheimer just got its R rating? Won't that limit its box office, which
you're right,
guarantees Barbie the opening weekend, I think.
Yeah, it does. And you're right. It's a great question. Oppenheimer is rated R, and it's 3 hours long.
Yeah.
That's why they made the deal so early.
They were like, yep, we're locking this down.
Because they were like, hey, new Chris Nolan movie. You want it in IMAX? You better act quick. And then that's what happened. They acted quick, and now it's like, all right, we got the thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's why Tom Cruise is trying to argue this is a bad, like, let Mission Impossible do this. You know, and Tom Cruise didn't go see Tenet in 2020 for no reason. Be nice to him, Christopher Nolan. But yeah, no. I just thought it was interesting to bring up that this feud is going on, and it's a really. I can't wait to see the results of it. I feel like within the next few weeks we'll get like, okay, here's how it's gonna be split up.
If I was the theaters, I would just simply book and start selling tickets for a Barbie Oppenheimer double feature.
It's amazing I haven't seen it already.
And just do Dolby, 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Oppenheimer starts at 10, Barbie starts 10:05.
Yeah. Easy. I would love for theaters to do a double feature of Barbie.
Or both. I don't know. With Barbie, do you eat dessert first or second? That's the tough one.
It's a tough one. Well, I feel like I'm going to need like an hour after Oppenheimer. Honestly, because look, all right, inside baseball here. I'm responsible for booking the movie tickets of our group, and we have 11 people in our AMC A list. It's tough to get tickets, and I gotta wait till there's 2 spots open, so I can't book tickets in advance anymore, really.
Yeah.
And with Barbie and Oppenheimer, 1, I'm gonna be out of town, but I still do it for the crew, and 2, I'm gonna do Oppenheimer first probably, just because you can have a breather and use Barbie to like get it out, you know? Rare ways you leave Barbie thrilled with life, and then going into Oppenheimer would just ruin your night, I feel like.
That's fair. Go for as early as possible.
I know, because it's a long movie.
Oppenheimer, yeah.
Maybe I'm trying to get like a 6:30 or something.
That'd be nice, yeah.
But yeah, it'll be something. But yeah, I thought that feud was nice, not nice, but interesting, and I wanted to kind of bring it up and bring it to you guys' attention. And for our next story, we've been following all the strike news with all the different unions on the show, and the DGA has avoided a strike. The Directors Guild of America has made a tentative deal with the studios and the streamers and everybody.
Who's this coming from?
This is coming from Variety.
Okay.
It came from all of them.
Yeah.
Okay, so Variety had a link to the official press release from the DGA over what the tentative deal entails. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's nutty.
Yeah, so I'm going past all the, like, this is a historic deal bullshit, and I'm getting down to the bullet points. Wages and benefits. Groundbreaking gains in wages and benefits, including a 5% increase in the first year of the contract, a 4% in the second year, and a 3.5% in the third year, and an additional 0.5% to fund a new parental leave benefit. Global streaming residuals.
Oh boy.
Substantial increase in the residuals for dramatic programs made for SVOD by securing a new residual structure to pay foreign residuals. The result is a 76% increase in foreign residuals for the largest platforms, so that residuals for 1 hour episode will now be roughly $90,000 for the first 3 exhibition years.
My God.
Artificial intelligence.
Oh boy.
Groundbreaking agreement confirming that AI is not a person and that generative AI cannot replace the duties performed by members. They just fucking hate writers, man. They're giving the DGA everything.
Are they like, I don't know how to get an AI to direct, but I can make an AI write a script?
Yeah. All right, continuing.
Yeah.
Non-dramatic programs. Established the industry's first ever terms and conditions for directors and their teams on non-dramatic variety and reality programs made for SVOD. Improved residuals for the first time. Associate directors and stage managers will now share in these residuals. That's fucking cool.
What does that mean?
It means like a first assistant director, second assistant director, stage managers on variety and reality shows will be a part of residuals for SVOD.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, for streaming video on demand. Feature directors. Historic first-time compensation for the months of soft prep. Feature directors currently perform for free prior to the start of a director's official prep period. That's actually huge because David F. Sandberg talked about this time period in his podcast with Chris Stuckman, where he said for like the first 3 months of working on Lights Out, he got paid nothing. Just because you don't get paid until the movie starts shooting and is greenlit.
Yeah.
And it's just like, so that apparently is ending.
That's good.
It's very good. Episodic directors. For pay TV and SVOD, episodic directors won expanded paid and post-production creative rights and gained an additional guaranteed shoot day for 1-hour programs. The first additional day added in more than 40 years. That's interesting.
So that just means they have more time to film?
Yeah, and it looks like they have more creative freedom, too. Reduction in hours. Unprecedented reduction in the length of the assistant director's day by 1 hour. Good job, assistant directors. They do work a lot, though. That's going to help. I mean, there should have been more hours, but... And then safety. Archived concrete safety advancements, including the first ever pilot program to require the employment of dedicated safety supervisors, expanded safety training programs for the directors and their teams, and the ban of live action or live ammunition on sets.
That's good.
Thank you.
Yes.
Made no sense. Yeah. So the DGA...
So they've avoided one strike out of the possible 3.
With this tentative... It is a tentative deal.
Yes.
But also, here's what's interesting. 1, what are they going to direct?
Yeah. That's also fair.
And 2, I'm afraid that there are going to be members of the DGA that since they got this deal, they're going to stop talking about the writer's strike. And the WGA members are going to be pissed at the DGA members for that reason. And because, like, they want the DGA to be like, all right, thanks for our deal, but you're still fucking the writers. But I feel like some of them are going to feel obligated to be silent since their deal got made.
Yeah.
And that's going to be interesting to see
how
that plays out.
I imagine the majority would be still outspoken.
Yeah, I will say that if I was WGA right now, I'd be pissed off that they gave them all that shit.
Oh, yeah. And SAG.
Yeah.
Well, SAG hasn't officially started striking yet.
I think they're going to.
WGA is on strike. Yeah.
I think they're going to.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it'll be fun.
It's pointing in that direction.
Yeah. But anyways, also with the DGA, they were smart to get the DGA contract finished because now at least everything in post can still be worked on. Because if the DGA struck, which I think the only time they done it was the 40s, they can't be in the editors' rooms.
Yeah.
So they would have to edit without the director there, which wouldn't necessarily go well.
No.
And not that the editors can't edit, but it's just
a studio head could set in.
Oh, yeah, because that works out every time.
Yeah. One of them could do. How hard could it be? It's already filmed. Put it together.
The fight or flight that just happened in me.
I'm instigating, of course.
It's so great.
If you could not sense the sarcasm, I don't want people coming after me.
But that's kind of the inside of the Directors Guild of America deal that's been made. The foreign residuals.
Hopefully it becomes finalized.
The foreign residuals one is nuts. That's pretty crazy. But yes, I wonder how it's going to be going forward with the writers, because it did mention that those residuals are not based on performance of the shows. It's just flat.
Just blank, yeah.
Yeah, which that's huge. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that one goes. But yeah, those were kind of the 2 stories we had information to dive in deeply on. We're now going to move on to the B-roll section of our show. Yes. What's that? It's just kind of where we read you some headlines on topics we didn't have time to fully get into, but we still wanted to bring the news to you, the people. Nicholas, what's first up on the B-roll?
First B-roll comes to us from The Hollywood Reporter. Disney has taken a $1.5 billion write-down after removing shows off of Disney Plus and Hulu.
Yes. So Zaslav started this when he started removing stuff from HBO Max, canceling projects, and using them as tax write-offs. Disney followed in his footsteps, which we previously mentioned were removing a bunch of content.
Yeah.
And with that content have saved $1.5 billion in a tax write-off.
It's a lot of money.
You were right about the producers thing coming true.
It is just the producers. You can make more money. It's
removing stuff from
streaming than adding it. But again, I disagree with the removal of it because there's certain stuff that
isn't anywhere else.
Doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
And that's just awful.
Yeah.
That bothers me.
Really screwed the creators there.
Yes, absolutely. Our next one comes to us from The Wrap and then was picked up by a bunch of the other stuff. A new Fast and Furious film is in the works, but not Fast X Part 2.
No.
Or Fast 11, or whatever the fuck they're going to call it. No, this one will focus on the return of Dwayne Johnson's Hobbs. However, this is unfortunately, at this stage, not a sequel to Hobbs and Shaw.
Yes, but it is rumored to have some of the Hobbs and Shaw characters coming back in.
Yes, with Ryan Reynolds
and Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart. Well, again, they have that unresolved thing of not knowing who's on The Voice.
Yep.
I think it'll be Ryan Reynolds. I'm still banking on that.
Maybe. But I'm excited for the Hobbs movie.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that's where Black Adam didn't work out. I'm glad he's going back
Where
to
did
this.
that lead you? Yeah. Back to Vin. And our last B-roll comes to us from The Hollywood Reporter. The live-action How to Train Your Dragon movie that we had reported on previously has started casting. Mason Thames, who was the lead in the Fantastic Black Phone, has been cast as the live-action Hiccup.
Yes.
And Nico Parker, who played the Pedro Pascal's daughter, I don't remember any of the characters' names, in the Last of Us show, has been cast as Astrid.
Great casting choices.
Yes.
I haven't seen Last of Us, but the kid in Black Phone is fantastic in that movie. Great choice for Hiccup. I know that some other actors were in contention to play that role, but he ended up getting it.
Yes.
Listen, I've seen some backlash to the casting for some reason for both of them, and it's the same director, you guys. It's the same director from the animated movies.
Yeah, like he's not just out here doing...
He's not just like... You think if he didn't enjoy the cast, he just wouldn't direct the movie, guys. If he's saying they're fine, they're fine.
Also, kid actor performances can be pretty rough sometimes, and Mason Thames was fantastic in Black Phone.
Just please just keep Gerard Butler as the same character as the father.
And Craig Ferguson. And Cate Blanchett. Yes, all of them. Not TJ Miller.
No. I do want to see a cameo from Jay Baruchel really badly, though. Just in any role.
They'll probably squeeze him in there. Yeah, how do you not, right? You have to squeeze in, like, all the other guys. Yeah. I mean, you also have, who voiced Astrid? America Ferrera.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll throw in, like, everyone as just fun little bits.
I hope so.
I don't see how you don't, you know?
But it's really fun.
Yeah.
And, yes, and with the
B-roll.
With the B-roll down, we're now going to move on to the box office.
The box office.
Section of our show. Nicholas, what were our predictions from last week?
All right. Dalton, you had... Spider-Man, Across the Spider-Verse, a safe bet.
Yeah.
The Little Mermaid, Fast X, The Boogeyman, and Guardians 3.
Okay.
I had Spider-Verse, Mermaid, Boogeyman, Fast X, Guardians.
We were both wrong, but it's because of a crazy thing that happened this weekend that...
I get my notes because my laptop's not working.
It screwed you from winning.
Really? Okay.
So coming in first, making $120 million, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Christ.
And these are the Sunday estimates, by the way. We'll have the final numbers by the time the show posts in the description. Coming in second, only dropping 58%, which we were worried it could drop more, was The Little Mermaid, making another $40 million. Coming in third was The Boogeyman, making $12.3 million. Coming in fourth, Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Whoa.
Making $10.2 million. And coming in fifth, Fast X, making $9.2 million. And it looks like this might have been the first time Mario wasn't in the top 5 for a while.
Yeah, it was in last week, yeah.
Yeah, so great weekend for movies. Look at that lineup. Wow. But yeah.
Fast X.
Yeah. So now let's kind of dive into each film specifically, and then I'm going to dive into a little bit on Spider-Verse and how it compared to the previous film's opening. Little Mermaid now has a worldwide total. The Wi-Fi here sucks, bro. I'm just giving you a second. Little Mermaid now has a worldwide total of $326 million worldwide, which is at 1.3 times the budget right now. Still has a little bit way to go, but that only 50% drop, 58% drop, that's a pretty good sign. Yeah. We were worried with how big the summer was going to be that it was going to drop more. The Boogeyman, which was supposed to be a streaming movie,
oh boy,
now has $20 million worldwide on a... Hold on, I'm going to look up what the budget was. On a budget of 35, so it's not quite there yet, but I think it's going to get there.
That's the only horror thing out right now, really, so I feel like that might give some
stay
interest.
In there.
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3 now has $780 million worldwide. Looks like might just get to 800, which is still a phenomenal total. And Fast X has just crossed $600 million worldwide, which is only 1.8 times its budget because it was so goddamn expensive to make. So that's pretty funny. And going into Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, I'm also going to compare it to how the first film did, so we can see what is going to be next for...
The answer may surprise you.
The answer, it won't surprise you.
How the first Spider-Verse did?
No, just how the second one did comparatively.
Oh, yeah. No, I meant how much the first one made would surprise you.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, my God.
It's dramatic.
It's pretty good. So, hang on. Let me make sure this is right. This movie came out. I said November on the last show. It came out in December, and it stole that Oscar from Incredibles. But it deserved it. So, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse opened to, in 2018, opened to $35 million.
Okay.
Ended up making a worldwide amount of $375 million.
Okay.
And, its weekend drops infamously pretty low. Well, it dropped 53% from week 1 to week 2. It increased 14% in week 3, and then had 30 to the teens drops throughout, because it was a fantastic movie.
Yes.
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse opened to $120.5 million.
So pretty much roughly a third of what the first one made in total.
Yeah, almost 5 times the amount.
Yep.
In the opening weekend.
Opening weekend, yes, but just the opening weekend is a third of the total run of the first.
Yes. And worldwide box office so far is at 208 after one weekend. And, it's already made 2.1 times its budget back. And I think this is going to lead into our predictions.
Yes.
I think it's going to beat Transformers next week.
Ooh.
Because if it drops 50%, that's $60 million.
I don't think Transformers is opening to 60.
Let's see what Bumblebee opened to. Hang on.
I'm going to guess Bumblebee opened in the 20s.
20s? All right.
20s.
Because that was a busy time period. It might have opened...
I mean, this is a busy time period.
Oh my God, did it open against the first Spider-Verse?
No.
December 18.
That's funny.
That's
who is planning
funny.
These?
I don't know.
Whoever scheduled these movies, stop. Well, I guess in that time, Spider-Verse was kind of, no one knew what to expect, right?
Guess what it opened to? 21. That's pretty good, Nicholas. Good. I will say, that was expected to open low, because there was a ton of movies. Aquaman also came out at the same time.
Yeah.
A ton of movies opened at that time.
Thoughts on Aquaman aside, that movie made $1 billion, so...
Here's the thing, though, with... Guess how much it dropped in its second weekend?
70.
Bumblebee.
70.
No.
20.
No.
30.
No. 3.
It dropped 3%?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Well, it's Christmas.
True.
Yeah. Because Bumblebee's a great movie. Yeah. Now, it also didn't have Transformers in the title, and people were sick of Transformers, opened that low. There's all kinds of Transformers in this new trailer. I think it's opening higher than 20.
Okay.
60, though? I think Spider-Verse is going to take it again, man.
Yeah, that's possible.
It's getting good. The box office is getting good.
Oh, it's only... And then Flash is going to come out. Indiana Jones. There's so much coming out. It's going to be insane.
What else comes out next weekend?
Does anything want to... I would say, does anything want to go up against Spider-Verse, but the Transformers are?
Oh, Strays was supposed to open, but it moved.
Oh, that would have been some interesting counter.
Yeah, it wouldn't have gone well for Strays. Okay, I'm going to predict first.
You're going in predictions?
Yep.
Go ahead.
All right. Coming in first.
Yes.
Spider-Man Across Spider-Verse. I think it's going to hold it.
All right.
I think it's going to hold it. Coming in second, Transformers Rise of the Beasts. I'll be pleasantly surprised if Transformers opens higher than 60.
Mm-hmm.
Coming in third, Little Mermaid. Fourth, Boogeyman. Fifth, Guardians 3.
All right. Well, I was going to do the same.
But can I tell you a mistake I may have made that can help you? Boogeyman cinema score was B-. And that tends to not do well with box office holds.
No. I'm going to go really nutty with it. And I'm going to go with what I said before. I'm going to go Spider-Man. I'm going to go Mermaid. I'm going to go Transformers. I'm going to go Boogeyman. I'm going to go Guardians. Final answer. Survey says...
Okay.
Well, it's not fun if we both have the same thing. I might as well throw in a curveball.
True, but I thought you were going to flip Boogeyman and Guardians at the end.
No.
Shit, dude. This is going to be fucking awesome. Oh, it's getting good, guys. It's getting good.
Yes, yes.
So, yes, that is the box office. Did you have anything else you wanted to add on the show today, sir?
No.
All right, guys. Sorry that the show was kind of short and that it was more classical. We just had to do what we could this week with
and
the
not
traveling.
as fun of a set.
Yep, with the traveling and the stories and everything. So thank you for still watching or
Yes.
still listening if you're on audio only. I have been Dalton Burdett.
I've been Nick Aricchio.
And we will see you next time.